I might start this over. Where the hell did it go? You bastards.
Now, here's the point. What is that star?
Listen to what it says.
What is the star of your... So you want your website to be stunning and professional.
You
Just go to
fucking
Wix.com.
asshole.
I just created a Wix.
What the fuck, man? Daughters of the Goat.
Set it up. You know,
Now listen to what he says.
we had an individual
Fuck.
a woman call us, and she had a similar experience. I doubt if she knew what this other woman's experience was.
Alright. Hold on, what he said. Hold on.
And explained that for some time she had had a being, an entity that looked just like this graphic, coming to her in the night and raping her. And the being was basically a kind of hermaphroditic figure with the head of a goat, the torso of a woman, but the genitalia of a man. And some of you are probably already going to guess what this graphic was. It was a picture of the set, which editor had put into the book to make a point, which was a celebrated drawing that an occultist, a high-level occultist in the 19th century named Eliphas Levi, had done of Baphomet. And I'm putting up a graphic here so those of you that aren't familiar can see it. And as you can see, it was a goat-headed figure with hermaphroditic body and, of course, a pentagram on its forehead, etc. This is one of the most iconic representations of the devil that is out there, at least in the last couple hundred years. Well, when she saw that, and he had explained to her over the telephone that this is the principality behind the Eastern Star for reasons we're going to explore in a few minutes. And she was just horrified because she was a good Christian woman, and this thing was terrifying her many nights. And so she ended up renouncing the Eastern Star, resigning it. She even persuaded her husband, who is also a high-level bigwig in the organization, to...
So yeah, like what I was saying. Now, on the last times I was still communicating with my ex, and she was fucking around. See, they got the little military in co-op with the prostitutes thing going on in their family. Yeah, where read the Fritz Springmeier book. They talk about the boundary border of the United States going into Mexico It's 25 miles in on both sides. They have this certain type of zone. They have the noise group, YES, and some other stuff. But yeah, yeah. She was saying that this was happening to her, and then one of my friends, quote unquote, who's no longer with us, mind you, he did die. I told him, you were gonna die, dude, unless he's hiding out. But I don't know, whatever. Anyway, so he liked to mess with the girls and get them off into that shit, using them as tools. Tools for, that's they like to use you as a tool, not a person. You're not a person, you're a tool to be used in some ritual or whatever the fuck. Anywho, so yeah, this went on. And I get the strong impression that they've lulled back into the trance state this girl, my ex-wife. And, I do find, I don't know where all these papers came from, but as I go through them and look, you can see they definitely had her hooked onto some other shit. So, since I do have the sense that she's alive and alright and captive, spiritually captive, I'm going to try to start doing some work to see if I can help and assist her. I did for a long time because, just on the physical stuff, because she had fears of getting some cancer. And now I've got the really strong impression to try to sever some of those ties that maybe I can help with as far as these bondage that they put people into. The Masons, man, the Masons are not good. There's a lot of fucking curses and bloodline shit that will that comes with that. It's not just the fraternity, and it's not just the rub the elbows and yeah, you can get that stuff from the world, the little privilege, but what's the cost? It's your fucking soul. I've always been interested in the occult stuff myself. I was briefly a member of the Golden Dawn. I wanted to learn how to do stuff with a group. I had that experience, I got out of it, and I don't cut for that anymore. All those societies, there's a need for them, but there's also some real negative shit that comes along with that's not on the surface that you don't see. And whenever they went up there, a lot of women in this town have done the same fucking thing where they stole all the money. They lost their kids to the CPS basically by handing them over to them. And you see this happen to you, and it's shocking. But when it happens to more than one person very similar, you start to pay closer attention to what's going on here. So we got something going on here. But they placed her with this guy, Trey. Even got her a nice tattoo on the back of her neck, a nice little brand. She's got the MMM. Fuck the M. Whoever you are, you're fucking bullshit. Shutting you down. We're gonna shut you down. I don't. And the grandma was like, "Oh, just we'll set her up with somebody so that she'll be taken care of." And he said, "Well, you're an unfortunate. You're an unfortunate." All this bullshit. It really deeply offends my soul because first of all, I was in love with someone and I married them, and I knew they weren't like a virgin and pure. But the amount of fucking shit that they had done to these girls, anyone who's fucking anything worth a fuck would be incensed and have to do something about it. And I had strange experiences. But you know what? Now, if it's come now to the time to take a close hard look to use the remote influencing and remote fucking viewing of shit, then now it's time to do that because they're gonna have my kids fighting some fucking wars like Ender's Game, you know, and they're not gonna let me fucking even talk to them because I'm dangerous and I don't let them fucking just do that shit with them, make them aware. We have to be very careful, man. You know, a lot of times the shit that is going on is so bad we can't even fucking fathom it. You know, and if we're gonna make it through the transition and we're gonna fucking ascend with the earth and we're gonna do what we need to do as a planet, you know, then now is the time. You know, because there's too many of us that are fucking off on some other shit. You know, you can't do your own fucking shit if you're fucking too busy fighting some missions that they've got you programmed into fighting. You're gonna be fighting fucking mantids and not doing your homework. You gotta save the day. You know, they got us all set up for this X-Man fucking programmed reality. You know, they've even got it so nice that we want it. We want to identify with these fucking heroes and all this shit. You know, and that's the losing of our fucking soul right there. You know, when they tell you what your gifts are, when they unlock you and all this shit, that's why the whole Marvel and all these fucking things, that's what they're for. To get us onto that fucking reality. I'm telling you, you know, the gifts that we have and the power that we have, you might run fast, you might stop time, but still, it's way more when you do it yourself, when you find out what it is and you decide what it is. That's a whole nother thing. You know, fuck all this. We don't need to do. You know how many times this world has gone through this fucking and crashed? How many times we've probably been here and crashed it? So I'm just saying, let's not crash the fucking plane into the mountain this time. You know, let's fucking be neutrally eyes open, alert, aware. Let's not start no fucking apocalyptic war and just believe it has to be the way because it's in the Bible. You know, fuck that. That's you know, to one extent I can understand why, or you know, people's being like, well, that's fate, and you know, it's the word of God. It has to be, you know, but not when man's fucking manipulating it. Not when man is the one fucking pinning some extra fucking shit in there and putting it in there. That's just an excuse for us not to look and to put it off on something else by either neglect or fear. Fear taking a different form called not being personal and responsible. And I say, yes, you can. Yes, you can look. Yes, you can find out. And yes, it is your job to do that. It's not your job to be like, oh, if that's God, I'll just put it. No. No. We owe this to our kids to do this. But yeah, the guy, they hooked her up with this guy, and we went to court, and she, of course, she seen me with another chick, so she came home with me. But it's always been on the back burner was they got the backup plan is placement. They're gonna place you. My other friend did this too. All hooked on, you know, this guy named Trey. It's always Trey because that's 3. But people are actually named Trey. I understand that. But you gotta understand how the programming works, how mind control and brainwashing works. If it's Trey, it's 3. And sure as shit, with my other friend, if after the allure was no longer there, it did turn into 3 other people. It just rolled right in. It bundled itself right into another mental mind thing. You know, you can't be in a relationship, treat the person, men or women, like a fuck doll, not a partner. The damage that you do to yourself and your soul and your situation is just as fucking dangerous as what you do physically to the person you're harming, because you're not balancing your shit. So if you're not open to that, you're not open to fucking relating and co-creating, you're gonna get us all in a wreck. That's all I wanted to say on that.